parabolas, and ellipses. Go over the review, and in the 2 sheets we did in class, starting on Monday. Okay, just concentrate on those. So in this case here, in ellipse, remember a squared is always the bigger one. So a squared equals 16, which means a is 4. B squared is the smaller one. B squared is 9. B equals 3. My center. -3, +1. So I'm going to plot that. Right there. Now, whatever's underneath the x, that tells you how far to go left or right, whether it's A or B. Okay. So in this case here, you take the square root of that. The square root is 4, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left. Since that's the bigger one, those are your vertices. Okay, those are your vertices. What do we got there? 1, 1. And then, let's see, -3, 4, 5, 6, 7, -7, 1. And go up from the center, 1, 2, 3. Those are not vertices. Those are just the endpoints of the minor axis. Okay, there's only 2 vertices. Okay, for that. Now, you can graph it at this point. Okay, so there's your ellipse. All right, foci. C squared equals A squared minus B squared. Okay, for ellipse. So A squared is 16, B squared is 9, so C squared equals 16 minus 9, square root of 7 for that one. That's going to be 2.7, right around there, I'm not sure. And we'll check it for me. 2.7? All right, so about 2.7, always on the major axis, 1, 2, 2.7, -2. So when you're writing the foci, okay, you're going to start at the center, and we're going to go left and right. So this would be -3 plus or minus square root of 7, and then the y coordinate would be 1. Okay, for that one. All right, on the actual review, questions. What questions do you have? Anything that I could clear up, go over? For you. Luke, you're going to ask a question there? You're what?
I'm planning on it.
All right. Which one? Do you know yet?
17.
17. All right. 17 and 18 were probably this. I'm going to do those, and I'm going to do number 20, just because that was missed a lot on the test. So for 17, expanded form, natural log, x times x plus 1 over x minus 1 squared. All right, expanded form, and we talked about this with no products, no quotients, no powers in that final answer. Okay. So this one here, we got to take a look, and we got a quotient. So it's a division. So anytime you got a quotient, you can write it as a subtraction problem. So you can write that as the natural log of x times x plus 1 minus the natural log of x minus 1 squared. Okay? So that's your first step. So that takes away, there's no quotients. So now you've got to evaluate each piece separately. So now we're 2 pieces. There is a product, x times x plus 1. So I can rewrite that as the natural log of x plus the natural log of x plus 1 minus, okay, I have a power that can go out in front of this ln. So minus 2 natural log of x minus 1. All right, the question is, can you go any further? So you got to take a look at each piece. Natural log of x. All right, that's just an x, nothing you can do. Natural log of x plus 1. That cannot be split apart. You just have to leave that. That is not a product or a quotient. Okay, it's just an expression in parentheses there. Leave it. And then the same thing here. Minus 2. Natural log of x minus 1. Can't do anything with that. So that is finished. Okay, nothing else you can do for 17. So you got that case. All right, 18. Go in the opposite direction. 2 natural log of x plus natural log of x plus 3 minus 1/2 natural log of 3x squared plus 2. All right, condensed form. So condensed form needs to look like this, a single ln. Okay, you can't have one on top, one on bottom, one anywhere, just one ln, one log or one natural log. Okay, now you're going to go backwards. Anything constant becomes a power, a sum becomes multiplication, a minus becomes division. So take care of your powers first. Natural log of x squared plus natural log of x plus 3. The 1/2 becomes a power, but the 1/2 as a power becomes a what? That's the square root. Got to do that. Don't leave it as 1/2 power because it becomes a square root. So that becomes the natural log of the square root 3x squared plus 2. Okay. Go left to right if there's just pluses and minuses. If you are adding, that becomes a product. Natural log x squared times x plus 3 minus natural log square root of 3x squared plus 2. All right, for all of this, you don't need to distribute. You don't need to, like, if you get a case where it'd be a FOIL, you don't need to do that. Just leave it as x squared times x plus 3. Okay, and then you're good there. Now, to finish it off, we're not done because we have to have a single ln. So there's a minus. And the square root goes on the bottom. 3x squared plus 2. So you're taking the natural log of the whole thing. Probably the biggest mistake is when people get here, they want to write it as the ln of the one over the ln of the other. For instance, I see that, like, if you got the ln of x, hold on here. Oh, let me see here. Minus the natural log of y. I'll see this a lot. Natural log of x squared over natural log of y. That's not right. Not right. You don't have two ln's. This would be just the natural log of x squared over y. Single one. Take the natural log of that one thing. All right, now let me jump to 20. Okay, that it won't take long. It's a quick one. And people miss that on the test. So 20 log base 5. 2x minus 7 equals 2. All right, when you have it in this form, this one's not bad. All you got to do is convert it to exponential form. 5 squared equals 2x minus 7. Okay, you can swoop it there. 5 to the second power equals 2x minus 7. 25 equals 2x minus 7. Add 7. 32 equals 2x. Divided by 2, you get x equals 16. All right, the next one's the one I'm more concerned about. B. Log base 5 of 3x plus 7 plus log base 5 of x minus 5 equals 2. Okay. All right. Condense it first. Before you can do what we did on the left, before you can swoop it, before you can take that base to the power, you got to condense it. Since this is a plus, this becomes log base 5 of 3x plus 7 times x minus 5 equals 2. Now, I had a lot of people at this point would just stop and just set 3x plus 7 times x minus 5 equal to 2. like just drop the logs. Can't do that. You got to convert it to the exponential form, which means you got to swoop it, which means 5 to the second power will equal 3x plus 7 times x minus 5. Here I am going to have to FOIL. Got to FOIL that. So 5 squared is 25. 3x squared minus 15x plus 7x looks like gives me minus 8x minus 35. Move the you got an x squared. You got a quadratic. You got a factor to quadratic formula. Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now, probably like in a problem like this, not every time, but this typically gonna factor. Subtract 25, I get 0 equals 3x squared minus 8x minus 10. All right, I'm hoping it does. I'm gonna put 3x and x here. 2, 5, and 2. Oh, maybe 10 and 1. Does it factor?
Why'd you?
Why did I put minus 10? Oh, yeah. Why did I put minus 10? Because it should be minus 25, which would give me 45, 60. Minus 60. That's going to be a difficult factor because it's the wrong number. All right, minus 60. So I got 3x and x, and I know most of the time you're going to do grouping method, but we'll just try guess and check. What multiplies to 60? And then see if that middle number adds to 8 after I FOIL. So you got 15 and 4. You got 10 and 6. So if I put a 10 there and a 6, 10 and 6. Does that work? So I think if I put plus 10 minus 6, because that gives me minus 18. That gives me positive 10, which adds up to negative 8. Okay. And then so 10 times negative 60. So now set each of those equal to 0. 3x plus 10 equals 0. X minus 6 equals 0, which means x equals 6. Negative 10 thirds. With logs. Why, not just for correctness, why do you have to test your answer? Period. You got to test it because you cannot take the log of what type of number. Negative number. Can't take something. If it gives you a negative number, you got to toss it out. So you got 6 and you got negative 10 thirds. You got to plug those in. 6 minus 5 is positive. That's going to be positive there. So 6 works. But negative 10 thirds will make, I know for sure, make that one a negative. So I'm going to throw that one out. And so that means your final answer is going to be 6. Okay, final answer will be 6. All right. Anything else? What else can I go with for you?
Number 7.
Number 7. All right, so let's take a look at number 7. Oh, f of x plus h minus f of x over h. Okay. So 7. F of x equals 2x squared minus 5x plus 9. Find f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. All right, so you're going to substitute in. All right, f of x plus h means in each spot you're going to plug in that x plus h. I'm going to put it in brackets. So it's 2x plus h quantity squared minus 5 times the quantity x plus h plus 9. All right, that is f of x plus h itself right there. So you take the 2 x's out, you put in the quantity x plus h. Minus f of x. Well, f of x is the original function, 2x squared minus 5x plus 9. Okay, so that's your f of x. And the whole thing goes over h. All right, I'm just going to pause and let you get caught up if you're right. I don't want to get too far ahead. now it's a case of just, this is the pre-calc part, substituting in. Now it's an algebra problem, simplifying, okay, making sure we go through the proper steps. You're going to have to do x plus h squared. We've done that a good bit. I'm going to do it again over here. When you FOIL that, you get x squared plus xh plus xh plus h squared. That's what you get when you FOIL that. So it'll be 2 times x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. We'll distribute the 5 minus 5x minus 5h plus 9. But don't forget you're subtracting that whole quantity. So it's going to be minus 2x squared plus 5x minus 9 all over h. I'm now going to distribute the 2, and then I'll worry about my like terms. So 2x squared plus 4xh plus 2h squared minus 5x minus 5h plus 9 minus 2x squared plus 5x minus 9 all over h. All right, take a second. So things better add up to 0. Okay, that's the whole, not the whole point, but that's going to make things easier. So things are going to add up to 0. I've kind of indicated it before. Everything without an h should add up to 0. Should cancel out. Everything without an h. So you get 2x squared. I got negative 2x squared. Okay. I go here. That has an h. That has an h squared minus 5x. Positive 5x. Positive 9. Negative 9. And really, everything after the minus sign should cancel. Okay, everything after that minus sign. And so now I got four xh plus 2h squared minus 5h over h. When we are done, this h in the denominator should also cancel as well. Okay, everything has an h, so I can factor out an h. This is really what's going on. I got 4x plus 2h minus 5 all over h. H is cancel. Final answer, 4x plus 2h minus 5. So that is your f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. Okay, all over h. All right. Next question. Brooklyn.
Can you do 5?
Yes. All right, number 5. Number 5. I've heard people kind of talking through number 5. So A, absolute value, 9 minus 7x is less than 23. B, 2, absolute value of negative 4 plus 2x minus 3 greater than or equal to 17. I'll do those separately. All right, when you're dealing with an absolute value, it either turns into a compound inequality. One's an and one's an or, based upon your initial inequality sign. If it is less than, okay, we say it's going to think of it as less than. It's going to be an and. When you rewrite it, you flip the sign and negate the number. So that'll be one of them. So right here, you drop the absolute value. Once the absolute value is by itself, so it becomes 9 minus 7x is greater than negative 23 and 9 minus 7x is less than 23. So one of the forms is always you just drop the absolute value and it stays as is. The other one, you got to flip the inequality sign and negate the number. Okay? And negate the number. It goes back to, and I'm going to just put this up there and erase it here in a second. If you got the absolute value of x is less than 4, so just think about that. What numbers are less than 4 absolute value? Okay? Anything between -4 and 4, because absolute value -3 is going to be less than 3. Okay, once you get past -4, then it doesn't work. So it has to be bigger than -4 and less than 4. Okay, so you can set it up that way is one way to set it up. The other way you can set it up is if you have it by itself, you can just do -23 is less than 9 minus 7x is less than 23. You can mash them together. All right. They'll give you the same answer. You can solve that with an and, or you can solve this one. Subtract 9. I get -32 is less than -7x is less than 14. Divide by -7. Well, dividing by negative flips your sign. That's just 32 over 7 is greater than x is greater than -2. Well, if you think about it, we always write it with the going less than. We want the smaller number over here, so we're just going to flip everything. -2 less than x less than 32 over 7. In an interval notation, is it less than or equal to? Just less than. -2 to 32 over 7. You can do it, and I always like to do it in one shot for less than. You can do it in two there. Solve them separately, you'll get an and. Okay, you got to merge those together. So when you got an absolute value inequality, it's going to morph into a compound inequality. All right, over on the other side. Good there? Okay. Over on the other side for B, before you split it, you got to get the absolute value by itself. So don't split it and use the -17 and -17. So add 3 to -4 plus 2x greater than or equal to 20. Divide by 2, -4 plus 2x greater than or equal to 10. All right, greater. That's an R. It's an OR problem. Okay, so now again, you're going to flip the sign, this inequality, and negate the number. This is when you drop the absolute value. So -4 plus 2x is less than or equal to -10, or -4 plus 2x is greater than or equal to 10. So we get an OR case. Solving those, what do we get here? I'm going to add 4. I'm just going to 2x is less than or equal to -6. Divide by 2. X is less than or equal to -3. Add 4. 2x is greater than or equal to 14. X is greater than or equal to 7. Or interval notation. Yep, write your answer in interval. It'll be the same with that. So it's less than or equal to 3 or greater than or equal to 7. I mean, it never hurts to graph it just to have a visual. Less than or equal to -3. Greater than or equal to 7. Now, it says interval notation, so you would do -infinity to -3, bracket. Oops. Union 7 to infinity. All right, typically with the less than, they're going to overlap. Okay, they're going to overlap, and you're going to get it an interval and 4, or they're going to be going opposite directions. Okay, that's typical. All right, if you got anything else, I'll hit you individually. You got some time here. You can continue to working. If you're all done, I'm going to give you. You can keep working. If you're all done, I want you to look at this. If you got it, this is the bonus from the last test, not the 8 reindeer. Okay, and I just want we should be able to set it up. I'm gonna see. So if you got it done and you want something to do, give you a little bit of a challenge here to work on this. But let's at least look at it. Everybody should at least understand what's going on. All right, you know what the lattice rectum of a parabola is? That there's a distance of 4a. But this is not a parabola. It says the lattice rectum of a hyperbola is a line segment that passes through a focus, is perpendicular to the transverse axis, and has endpoints on the hyperbola. Okay, determine the length of the lattice rectum in terms of A and B for the hyperbola. Oh, I don't have it up there. It should be x squared over a squared minus y squared over b squared equals 1. All right, let's at least just draw out the scenario. What is it? Can you at least draw it out? What would the lattice rectum be? Which way does that hyperbola open? Left and right or up and down? Okay. Oh, that was the last test. We've forgotten. It opens left and right. Okay, because the x is a square. So it's going to open up left and right. Okay. And this is all we know. This is all we need to know. Its center will be at 0, 0. Okay, center will be at 0, 0 because the way it is. The focus will be on the inside. So what we are looking for is this line segment that goes through there. We're looking for that line segment. Well, what is the distance from the center to the focus? What value is that? That is always the c value. And in a hyperbola, c squared equals what? A squared plus b squared. All right, I am going to tell you that length is equal to 2b squared over a. 2b squared, that's your answer. Okay, you gotta prove it. All right, work on your exam review. If you got that done and you're solid, try this. See if you can get 2b squared over a. If you get it, show it to me. If you got any questions, bring them up. Okay, if you're done, submit it. Make sure you know where to submit it and all that good stuff. It's okay if it's submitted, it'll say late, that's fine. Don't worry about that. All right, exam tomorrow. You guys are number 1 on the list. I do not have an 8th period class.